What's up, everybody? Today we got a special episode of No Labels Necessary. We're trying to, for the very first time, me and Corey are just going to share ideas that we have, interesting observations that we made, maybe a hot take or two, we'll see, and just see if the other agrees. Same way we share marketing ideas, observations, analyzing campaigns, we're going to do that in this episode. And then I don't know the takes that Corey has or his ideas. He doesn't know mine. And then we're going to see if we could try to convince the other. Some might be easy. Some might be a debate. We don't know. Y'all let us know if y'all like this format. Let's get it. Corey, let's pop this off, bro.
Yeah, man. So I got a hot take, man. I think that music isn't fun anymore, or music doesn't feel as fun anymore because artists don't collab as much. And I don't even necessarily mean on a music tip. I think we still see, the label artists link up. Sometimes we'll see the one or two popping indie artists link. But I mean on like a mass scale, right?
Okay.
On a scale similar to what the streamers do. Think about the
Like
way
We Are the World old school?
but more fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we would see content and videos of artists from the 2000s, the 90s, hanging out together, doing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, doing things together, stuff where it kind of made you feel like the artists of that time were a community. Versus now, you very rarely see artists of a certain caliber, like, pop out together. Even if it's unless it's for a very specific music look. Hey, you have a video that you paid me for a feature for, or vice versa. Or maybe a specific brand look. Hey, Red Bull paid me and you to be here for this cypher or this freestyle, so that's why we in the same room together. But when's the last time we saw something like the Dreamville project? The way that J. Cole brought all those artists together, and we could see different artists from different walks and different genres that we maybe had never even thought about were friends in real life or even knew each other in real life, but we got to see them be on camera, interact with each other. And I feel like we get that energy in, for sure, like I said, the streaming world, we see it in the influencer space. So many other facets of entertainment, actors, actresses, you know what I'm saying? So many other facets of entertainment still respect the grind together, climb together mentality. But it feels like music artists have lost sight of that. And that's why things don't feel as fun and energetic and cohesive anymore.
Okay. Influencers definitely collab real heavy.
100%.
I can give you that. And I do feel like I had a thought at one point that this disjointedness and disconnection of the generations takes away from the collaborations that we could be seeing today as well. And not even like hardcore collaborating music, but just being together. Yeah. Where if you go back during like the BET Awards, back when award shows were popping, there would be one point where you could see Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, then a Brandy and a Usher all at the same show, which were newer but popping, and then you can see like whoever the next popping person is, and they're all showing love. Yep. Like Whitney knows who Brandy is, and Diana Ross knows who Brandy is, and you see them together, whether it's on the stage and showing them love. Like today, that would be like if Beyonce was with, I don't know, her on stage, her the artist, for y'all who might be getting confused, and Rihanna, and I'm trying to think of somebody newer, maybe like Lotto, in a very casual, non-contrived like way. Like I think that's what kind of like what I think what you're talking about would be.
Yeah, and I mean, you made me think about something, right? Like I guess to give the influencers some credit or the streamers some credit, it's a lot easier to figure out who are the most like center of culture influencers in a particular niche. If I'm a dancer and I want to link with other dancer influencers, like it's probably not as hard for them to like look in the dance space and figure out who the most popping 15 dancers are. Now I assume I assume some of that is kind of happening in the streaming space. Like I can look and say like, I could piece together the top 50 here based on this. Maybe music, because the culture is so split right now. Like it's hard. I can't even think of a batch of artists that even move super close to the same center of culture to where maybe it makes them feel like they can't do those type of events. But I will argue, at least from a music culture standpoint, that's what will make it the most interesting, is the fact that the artists that do seem like they have next up in terms of the next potential batch of superstar artists or big artists genuinely don't look like a batch of artists that will move together. So like I feel like if we were to see Dave Blunt's hanging with like a Ken Carson doing challenges, or we saw, Doechii you know what I'm saying, doing a cipher with the She Was a Fairy Girl or some shit like that. That would be hard, bro. That'd be fun. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that would make music interesting again, but they're not going for that.
Business, I got two reasons. I'm going to say one. First, business got in the way of a lot of this in general, the way people look at the world, like, because this affected everything. I remember for athletes, I would say, man, I wish they did stuff like they used to. They would have like a all-star dunk contest, and it would be a baseball player like Ken Griffey Jr. or something, like a football player like Deion Sanders, I think, was actually in that one. So you're taking people from all these other spaces where you got baseball player, football players in a dunk contest, just showing their skills. But then today you'll never see anything like that because of the way the money in the business works. But that just made for great, amazing, like moments, right? Today, it's the same thing where it would be great even for music artists, but the moments people are thinking about the money in a whole nother way. So they don't need a look because they can get so much of the look from social media. And then this is where we get there. This is where we land the plane. Artists themselves have basically shined a light on the fact that artists aren't the popping thing today. Like, we know so many kids want to be YouTubers and streamers more than they even want to be artists. So artists on their media run, they go to streamers, they go to YouTubers. They don't need other artists anymore for that look, and that look isn't going to be as grand. So now artists themselves have kind of showed that they have less value in their own media runs because they rather go to podcasters and streamers, influencers, because they feel like the artists themselves aren't going to give them that look.
And that's what's so interesting about it, because most of the big streamers have some type of music element. So like Blackboy Max records songs with artists live on stream.
What I'm saying.
You know, Casanata invite artists in to do interviews. What's his name? The Reggie guy that Kai helped pop off, bro. He freestyles on his live. You know what I'm saying? He just has random freestyle live streams where him and the homie are just like freestyling over beats. And it's like, bro, these are all things that, like, you telling me if I'm trying to think of somebody, if fucking two mid-tier artists, you know what I'm saying, 300,000 monthly listeners plus had a live stream together where they were freestyling over table beats together, that wouldn't be interesting. If we had 10 of our, you know what I'm saying, best mid-tier artists link up and do something like that, that would be interesting. You know, I get it. Like, from their perspective, it's the why.
Like,
but we know it's the,
they don't like to look like not cool. So you already got to work through all that stuff. Like, who's cool, and now your ego is working and all that stuff.
Why they saying I was lame and you were the 5-1? I get it, man. Like, that's why I say it sucks, bro. Like, and I know, like, we bring up artists of different eras, and it's different, right? Like, they weren't always they didn't get instant feedback when they did those things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to your point, you know, Diana Ross and Whitney Houston weren't standing on stage reading chats about, you know, one of them makeup being messed up or the dress being, you know what I'm saying, something being wrong with the dress versus like artists, so they would see that. But it just feels like it's such an easy lick. They have the brand equity for it. They could get the money for it. J. Cole already gave y'all the blueprint. I don't know how J. Cole pulled off Dreamville, that project, because every artist there wasn't signed to his label. He had lots of artists coming through.
True.
I'm sure there was a lot of paperwork floating through, you know what I'm saying, like that day. But I feel like he gave us the blueprint. He showed that something like that in music is possible. And I just don't understand why nobody else, and because that was 6-7 years ago. Why has nobody stolen the blueprint? You know what I'm saying, at this point?
Yeah. All right, I got another one, bro.
All right, bet.
I think too many artists are trying to impress industry people instead of impressing fans.
Facts. 100%.
Right? And the big thing is, at the end of the day, all of your leverage comes from having fans. You're trying to impress industry people, including other artists. I don't want to look corny, etc. to these people, when at the end of the day, most of these people still going to hate on you anyway. But if you get big, they're going to ask you for a feature. They're going to all of a sudden get it, and they're all of a sudden going to use you as a case study. Right? I've seen a lot of artists. I talked to a lot of artists. I've talked to, obviously, industry people, and I hear people talk about people, you know, from the other side. Oh, yeah, I understand that he's winning, but I don't want to do it like that. Like, and whatever their reasons, because I'm not even trying to put anybody on Front Street. All I'm saying is keep doing you, because artists that I've heard people talk about, I've heard those same people all of a sudden change their mind or tweet about you or drop videos about how awesome you are. And I don't even want to say the hate was deep, like a personal thing. They just didn't get how you were moving. So as long as you get fans, they'll realize something works. And this industry move off of what works, man. People are going to gravitate towards what's hot, no matter how they felt about it prior, because that's where a lot of their next checks come from, unless they're one of those people who, you know, which most people aren't, have gotten to the point where, you know, like FU money, etc. They only going to move off of whatever their taste is, and that's fine too.
Yeah. No, bro, it's 100% true, man. I think it's I always look at getting industry relationships like playing Pokemon. You ever play Pokemon? Like the OG Pokemon games?
Yeah,
like,
the OG, yeah, of course.
It's like industry connections is like getting the Mewtwo. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a powerful Pokemon, it's rare, it's legit, but if everybody plays the game, they eventually get one. Then if you're a person on level 1, level 2, watching your homie on, you know what I'm saying, badge 8, Elite 4, whatever, and he got a Mewtwo, you like, damn, that nigga fire, bro. Like, he got the Mewtwo, like, he blazing through his joint.
Bruh.
But you don't know yet, but if you play the game long enough, you're gonna eventually get a Mewtwo, bro. That's how I look at getting industry connections. It feels like the thing to chase when you don't have any. But then as soon as you start to get some, you're like, oh, if I just do the work and bring the attention around myself, like, these niggas pop up like flies, bro. Like, they just be everywhere.
They pop
and
up.
It's interesting, too, because music is funny because someone can hate you but still work with you because you got motion, right? Or you have the perception of motion. Someone can love you and not work with you because you don't have motion or don't have the perception of motion.
Right.
They'll be behind the scenes on the phone, bro. You amazing, bro. I think you one of the smartest, most intelligent people to ever live, bro. I don't understand why niggas ain't throwing $1 million at you right now. Like, bro, well, you throw a band at me. Nah. Get those numbers up a little bit first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can talk about it, but you great, bro. You amazing. So I feel like, you know, music is interesting because you will lose fans chasing industry people, but you'll never lose industry people chasing fans. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Never.
Everything, man, because music moves off of leverage to people. It's the same reason you look at Spotify. They got fans, and now we got to deal with the music industry. Look at TikTok. They got the people there, and then the music industry has to deal with TikTok. Yeah. Y'all are the same thing, far smaller scale, obviously, or as an individual. But hey, if you get people, somebody is going to figure out how to work with you. Maybe it's not the label that you wanted or a management team, and you can, look, I'm not encouraging this, but a lot of bridges can be burned because there's so many fragments of the industry. Yeah. There's going to be that one person who they going to take a flyer out on you because, you have something going on. So look, chase fans, that is your leverage. Everything is going to move. Stop trying to impress music industry people. And by music industry people, I don't just mean like chasing connections for like labels, artists, labels and A&Rs and all that stuff. I'm talking about also stop not doing stuff because you don't want to not look cool to other artists as well.
That's the worst one. First off, other artists barely. I mean, if we think about the artists that like stand out as like cool artists, bro, it'd be like 8 of them. Now let's think about how many artists there are in general. 8 out of a pool of millions would tell me like, hey, stop listening to these niggas. These niggas don't know what is cool. They don't know what's hot. And I don't even mean that in a derogatory way. It's like if you talk to the average music artist, which is why I don't usually listen to what other music artists have to say about music artists. But if you talk to the average music artist, they will openly brag about not paying attention to anything. They'll be like, I'll never scroll social media. I don't never look at TV or read magazines. I'm like, also, you don't know what the fuck is going on in the world right now. You just playing your own game and hoping it hits at some point, which is cool. If you that type of person or you are a trendsetter where eventually the world will catch up to you or something, great. But the vast majority of artists are not those people. And they are, like I said, openly bragging about not paying attention to the people that they want to consume that music. And that generally baffles me. Like, it blows my mind. Like, there's no other industry where the product makers brag about not understanding the people that's supposed to be buying the product, bro. It's crazy.
Yes.
And then, to your point, would then judge somebody else about it, bro. Me and Sean make chairs Sean out here listening to the people. Sean know the people like rounded chairs. They like rounded bottoms. I'm over here like, man, that chair look lame as fuck. It's like, bro, why am I listening? You don't go talk to the people that buy chairs.
Yeah.
Bro. You just make your chairs and hope for the best, bro. I'm not listening to you, man.
Bruh.
I'm not listening to you.
It's so crazy because I feel like I'm not somebody who doesn't believe in trying or looking like you're trying. Like, there's nothing wrong with looking like you're trying to build something that you believe in, right? Like working for your art, caring about your art. So I'm not saying don't try to look cool from the standpoint of like, don't look like you're trying. Miss me with that message. But the idea of trying to check the box of cool isn't actually cool in the first place by nature. Like, it's like, oh, this is what people think is cool and this is how other people are going to perceive cool. You're not cool in the first place, so it's nothing to worry about. The cool thing is to do your thing, whatever that is. There's going to be people who hate on it, but then generationally, and your fans who rock with you are going to think you're cool. Like Tyler, the Creator, is one of those people, right? Pharrell's one of those people. Pharrell wasn't always the coolest looking guy. All of y'all, a lot of people who are trying so hard to like look cool and feel cool are doing a lot of stuff and following in the branches of like a Kanye and love Kanye. Kanye came in not looked at as cool, right? Yeah. Like doing your own thing is the coolest thing, but then you have to wait to make that impression for fans and everybody else to start saying this is how they perceive you, and your pocket of people is going to think you're cool. There's no one person that everybody in the world thinks is cool. Yeah. I guarantee you there's somebody who thinks they're corny. Like, not just like, oh, I don't see him as cool like that, but hard line thinks that they're corny. We talk, like, it's a revolving door. You talk to one person, you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to do what he does. I understand he's successful, but he kind of corny. Then the next artist I talk to, yeah, can you show me exactly what y'all did with him, man? Because I love his strategy. Then you talk to the next person. It's like, yeah, what he does isn't for me. Okay, that's cool. Next person, oh, he's corny. Like over and over again. So, bruh, again, that goes back to like when it comes to the category of cool, trying to be cool and being overly concerned about whether or not you are perceived as cool is not cool, bro. So just figure out who you are, let that win, and then people by nature, just by liking you, whoever your fans are, will think you cool. I promise you, dog. Yeah,
and thanks to platforms like TikTok, that whole process of finding your tribe is way faster and a lot more specified at this point, man. It used to be I would talk to or work with certain demos or artists, and I would genuinely be like, man, bro, I don't know where your community of people is at. Like, it's about to be rough for you, bro. But now, you know what I'm saying? Now I really feel like, because we were talking about one of our clients off camera, you know what I'm saying? The one you were telling me you did the meme with, and like, oh yeah, it's him. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, there are people out there that like your branding and everything, music. I'm like, bro, if you can do it, anybody can do it, bro. Like, this is crazy, man. But it's funny because me and my girl was just talking about the Kanye and Pharrell, because she was talking about. She was like, man, like, Kanye was screaming from the mountaintops for years that niggas bully him about the pink polo, bro. He would never let people forget the pink polo, bro. And I was like, man, you know what? I was like, what's crazy to me is that Kanye talks about getting bullied coming up. I was like, but Pharrell was also coming up at the same time. I've never heard Pharrell tell stories again, but I'm like, Pharrell was weird as fuck too, bro. So were they not bullying him?
They got like kind of put in the box, but I feel like Pharrell energy wasn't you bully him energy. Marketing your music and building out your brand is hard, but it doesn't have to be done alone. So if you're looking for help in your growth or development, or maybe even some marketing services, apply for consulting or campaign help with us, Contrabrand Agency. We can help you out, whether that's personal one-on-one support and consulting, or whether that's running campaigns or building out release strategies. All you have to do is apply at www.contrabrand.agency. We'll put a link in the description below. And when you apply, you'll be considered for a free call to determine your needs and learn more about how we can help you. Again, that's www.contrabrand.agency. Apply as soon as you can, because we can only work with a limited amount of people at a time.
All right, I got one. I have a theory that 30 to 50% of bad marketing campaigns, and not bad in the sense of like the execution was wrong. Like, we were supposed to have it go up on Monday, it went up on Thursday. Not that, but like bad in terms of results. Like, We didn't get the numbers we wanted to see. We didn't get the ROI we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory that 30 to 50% of bad marketing campaigns is because the artist's music is trash, and either the artist doesn't want to admit it, or the marketer doesn't want to tell the artist that music is trash. So they just eat the results and eat the what's the word I'm looking for? The reputation hit that comes with it.
Yeah. Hey, look, I've been a part of those situations where I might not necessarily like a song, and definitely have had to market a song. And we've experienced that sometimes other people like it. So, it's like, oh yeah, it's not for me, but maybe it's for the world. Mm-hmm. And then when you say the world doesn't like it, it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're all on the same page here.
I feel like especially too, even this isn't even to me like a size of artist issue. This is to me just where the song is in its life cycle issue. But to me, the first $1,000 spent on the song is really you trying to figure out if people like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could argue that how many campaigns didn't make it past that first $1,000 where they went like, oh, this shit is bad. Like, so this shit must suck. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, no, it probably is the music. And I only say this as a marketer that has been a part of a lot of campaigns that have worked well in different facets. When a song is okay, things don't be easy, but there's still like minimal resistance, right? Mm-hmm. Like if it's at least a decent song. When a song is really good, or you can tell people think it's really good, that shit damn to be on easy mode. You know what I'm saying? The ads you didn't even have to work that hard to get the ads going. Yep. Influencers respond back. They be throwing discounts at you that you didn't even ask for. But I usually do it for $300, but I'll do it for $2 if you can. Like, I bet. Yep. They work hard. Like everything just moves so easy for you. When it's bad music, they be the complete opposite, man. Right. It's like all the little things that you thought or that you normally do to make something just like work. Forget even working good, just work. It's resistance again. The content won't crack 100 views. The ad won't go past 70s, or won't get cheaper than 70 cents. The influencers won't respond back to you. You know what I'm saying? Or when they do respond back to you, they tell you it's 400 when last week they charged you 300 for the one guy they like. And so I think that because enough artists don't get these experiences, I think the artists that promote multiple songs see it, right? If you're an artist that's promoted probably more than 5 different songs in your catalog and promoting them all with the same amount of like effort, you probably have noticed that, and you understand, hey, my music can impact my marketing results. But then it makes me think about how many artists never make it that far to get that to get that outlook, to get that 100%. Expertise, you know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, look, because the more niche you are, or the more experimental, whatever it is, you should expect it to be harder to find people that like you.
100%.
Now, we've heard some music that had some legitimate fan bases, and you're like, yo, this many people like are legitimately rocking with this? Yes. Yeah. It might have been harder to find them. So, look, just know that your people might be harder to find. It doesn't mean that it's horrible to everybody, but it just might not be the taste that people have yet acquired.
And I do want to be clear, there is a difference between good bad music and bad music. Like there's a ironic category in there. I call it bad good music. Yeah. Or good bad, where it's like this is a terrible song, but maybe the hook is catchy. Or a
lot of times those songs are just fun to sing though.
Yeah, they're fun. The energy around it is fun. Maybe there was like a content moment around it that like you just think back to when you hear it. So, but then there's like bad, where it's just like, oh yeah, not right.
See, this goes back to something I've said for a while. I think I said it to you one time, maybe on one of our pods. We just haven't clicked it up or whatever. But I don't believe in this idea of programming anymore.
Yeah. Programming is super hard,
Yeah, like the idea that, just because we put $1 million behind it and I got somebody to hear it 5, 10, 20 times, that's why they like it. The world only likes it because you put so much money behind it. No. Because everybody in this room, which is just me and you, but also everybody who is listening and watches this clip will be able to find one song that they've heard 1 million times and they still hate that song. Every single time it just reminds them how much they hate that song. That's not being programmed. So there's a gap, right? You have songs you immediately love. You have songs that you're going to hate forever, no matter how much you hear that song. In the middle, those songs that you heard more times and now you like it, it was a taste that you didn't yet have. You had to acquire that taste.
Yeah.
Just like when you were a kid, maybe you didn't like certain vegetables, and now you not only don't mind them, you actually love some of those vegetables. You had to evolve. You had to hear it, process it a few times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you know what? This is hitting somewhere on a, like that's how I feel happens in way more cases. There are very few cases of I really hate this song and now I love it just because I heard it a million times, but yet I still hate it.
Yeah, I feel like I got maybe one song in my entire life that's happened with.
That you're gonna hate forever, or that you actually like?
No, that I hate it and I
What's
heard
the song?
It was a Black Boy JB song.
Which the main one?
Yeah, Run in the fucking van. Yeah, that song, I hated that song, bro. Until he dropped the remix for 21 Savage, and then like 21 Savage's verse kind of won me over. Now I love that song, bro. I can listen to that song. It only took me, 7, 8 years.
A little growth.
Yeah, a little.
Maturing is realizing that you like Black Boy JB.
But then like, what's that one song where it's like, I don't know. It came out. I hate that song, bro. It's one of the songs I thought it was.
That's Black Boy JB too.
Nah, that's some pop shit.
I don't even
know. Is it? It's not Fireflies.
Oh,
you know
yeah, that.
I hate that.
Tired of letting you go, something like that. Yeah.
So much, bro. Every time a TikTok pop up, I swipe, bro.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So I agree, and I think that what's also interesting is that when we think about old school programming, I think people think that the output of it was a lot more valuable, so it felt like a better investment. Oh, I could play this song, 30 times on the radio to this group of people that can't find music anywhere else. And I think the huge difference is that back then, the people that were influenced negatively didn't have a voice because they wouldn't go buy merch, they wouldn't go buy vinyl.
Yeah.
They weren't going to show. So if you play this song 30 times a day for 50 million people, you will only know about the 5 million people that fuck with it, and you will genuinely feel like, okay, we influence the masses.
And there's
today,
no social media to see the people who are just complaining about
exactly.
it.
So today you could put this bitch in front of 50 million people to learn that 5 million people like it, but then to see the 8 million that hate it online driving the narrative behind the song, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And kind of changing things there. And I think that's interesting and I just think that's interesting in general about being an artist today is that the moment you get a hint of notoriety, you lose control of the reins over the narrative. You know what I'm saying? It's like back then you really could hold the reins up until you became a superstar and the tabloids took notice of you. And then now it's like, now you lost control of the narrative. Now, bro, it's like the moment your fan base like you enough to start making memes and jokes, it's over with. The whole narrative skewed.
100%. See, and this really comes back to a simple framework to bring products to market. If a product is familiar to people, then they're already going to be more likely to like it, right? It's already in my wave and groove of things that I like already. I'm familiar with. I get it. But if a product is super different, it's going to be hard to get people to like it. So what a lot of times you need to do is not give somebody something completely different. You need to give them something that is different, maybe, if you're trying to stand out, but you have to make it feel more the same so they can connect with it. You got to give them that bridge between where they are and where you want them to go. What programming can do in terms of like pushing a song a lot can do is help you hear it so much that it becomes familiar. Right? So it's like, instead of like a regular product like Google Glasses, right? I was like, oh, it's weird having somebody walk around with Google Glasses on so it doesn't, take off because people just aren't acclimated to that behaviorally. It's just a little bit too off. Cool, novel, but it's like, you walking around, why you got those glasses on, take them off, right? It's just not acceptable enough in the climate.
Yeah.
But when you put that same technology in some glasses that look like Ray-Bans, which they're doing that type of stuff now. They've been doing it for a minute now. But like now, it's more acceptable. It's going like the market is going to continue to trend upwards on that, right? Because it's more familiar. With a song, okay, I don't necessarily have to use a sample, which would be like putting in some Ray-Bans or using some drum patterns that people are similar that are similar, which is putting them in Ray-Bans. Instead, you might just go, well, I'm going to play it so much that you became familiar with it because you heard that beat a million times last week. You heard those bars in that introduction a million times. And now it's almost like it's no longer new. You got past that, and now you can just hear the song for what it is beyond what was odd to you at first. And then that's when a lot of times it hits. The other theory is a lot of times you haven't lived the life that helps you appreciate the song yet, right? There's some songs that if you haven't come up in the streets or certain areas that you, even if others can appreciate it, you can appreciate it differently. If you didn't go to like college, you can appreciate this song as much as that song, right? Yeah. Or if you've never been on a yacht, you can, in San Tropez and live this life. You don't know what the vibes are. I always tell people like Nipsey Hussle was one of the people that's happened with me. I already rock with Nipsey Hussle in general, but when I listened to Victory Lap while I was riding down the highway in LA, in the hills and all, it just felt completely different. Like the whole joint it hit different. So it was like sometimes it's your environment and your own familiarity that keeps you from liking a song and keeps you from being able to acquire a taste. And I think people don't realize that, and they just think, oh yeah, now I like it because they forced me to like it. It's like, nah, you were being closed-minded, man. We just had to get you to open up or experience it correctly, and now it hits.
Yeah. No, that's facts. That's real.
What else you got, bro? You got another theory?
Man, last one I got, I think live streaming and clipping is gonna save artist brand personality. Save.
Okay, tell me.
Hear me out, right? We've been advising artists on content since like 2020, 2021 at this point. So let's just say the last 5 years, right? What is one of the hardest things for artists to do when it comes to content? Be themselves on camera. As crazy as it sounds, one of the hardest content verticals. You could tell an artist go make a mic drop video, they'll come out with some crazy shit. You could tell them go make a music video, they'll come out with some crazy shit. You could tell them go be themselves on camera and make it look believable. Oh my God, all hell breaks loose, right? So a lot of artists have an issue with getting themselves across on camera authentically, how they really are in person. If they're playing a character, then how they want the character to be perceived. But in my opinion, that's been like the number one content issue for the vast majority of music artists. How we would circumvent that is we would send them to podcasts. We would send them to radio stations. We would send them to do interviews. But we're starting to see a trend where a lot of artists don't like to go to music media platforms, right? How many of the big media platforms do we hear say, hey, rappers don't come talk to us anymore? There was the wave where artists went to talk to podcasters, right? You started seeing artists on like the Funny Marco stuff and the Theo Von and those type of things. That I think is going to always have a space. Artists will always want to go to fun places, but even that's not happening in mass as much.
True.
You know what I'm saying? As when it first popped off. And I think that's probably because artists are looking at shit like, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go let Theo Von crack jokes on me for 30 minutes straight, or let Funny Marco troll me for 30. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe the podcasters that were down to, you know what I'm saying, take on the rappers in 2020 and 2021, then they up.
Yep.
Fast forward to now, we have streaming. We have streaming and we have clipping. So where if I'm an artist, I can go, let's say IRL streaming to be fair, not necessarily just sitting in your room streaming, but let's say IRL streaming to be clear. I have a day where I have a video shoot, and then I have a show at the end of it, and then at the end of that, and I got the next day I'm going to link with my manager to listen to some beats. It's like there was a time where you would have to look at your day and figure out how can I pull pieces out of this to get some content, right? Some personality content, some entertaining content. Now you can just have a camera person follow you all day. The stream itself is a piece of content. That's going to give people insight into you and your world because we get to see you interact with your surroundings and your friends and the people working with you and things like that. And then you have the clips for later that you can use to paint certain narratives. You can use to, I don't know, a 3-hour stream. If it's a jam-packed stream, bro, that's probably easily 80 to 100 clips. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Yeah. Even if you had to force it to pull moments out of it, probably at least like 15. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the artists that get comfortable with IRL streaming specifically build the infrastructure to do IRL streams, bring the people around them to stream this stuff. I think from a brand perspective specifically are going to win because they're going to be coming across the most authentic because it really is them.
How many do you think are going to do that though?
In what time frame? Like we talking about like over the next like year?
5 years. You think there's going to be a lot of artists who are legitimately streaming?
I think they should. I think actually, yes, I do think so. Because
and consider themselves artists and not get distracted by the streaming.
I was just about to say, I think what's gonna change it is that the younger kids that kind of come up wanting to be the hybrid, right? Like I agree with you, right? I do think there are more kids coming up today like, yo, I want to be a streamer more so than an artist. But we have to assume that there's someone walking the line looking like, damn, how can I be both? Like, how can I be Plaque Max? How can I be DDG? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I think that the only thing we're waiting on is for, and you could argue that this is DDG. I would make the argument that this is DDG, but I could understand people that don't make this argument. All the music industry is waiting for is from a legitimized artist by the industry to do it and do it well. That's all we're waiting on. We got a couple of close artists. We got Eric DOA is a pretty lit streamer. Like I said, I would give that to DDG, but I could understand people's argument that say he was a content creator first. I could completely understand that. So nice. I think until we get the artists that came in, to your point, authentically as an artist, they 100% built themselves up as an artist through streaming. I think that'll be when tides kind of change, but we got to be like another year or two off from that. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, streaming been around long enough to where we got to be like another year or two off.
It's going to be way longer, bro.
You think so?
Because look.
Like, let's say like there's a 16-year-old right now watching DDG thinking like, damn, I want to rap and stream. You don't think that by the time he's 19, he could have figured out?
Maybe one guy, but but before it becomes a norm, I just think it's not going to ever become a norm.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just too many situations of artists winning and then other artists don't go do it, right?
That's real. Yeah.
Like, look at how artists went crazy on TikTok and how many artists still say, I don't want to do TikTok in general, let alone content on Instagram or whatever.
That's a good point.
It's just like, there's always going to be the resistance, man. It's always going to be the resistance. All right, go ahead.
Well, I think it could save it. I think in terms of like I said, specifically for the artist that feels like, hey, I understand the value of portraying myself, but I can't figure out how to do it. Like I get stuck when I try to creatively think of a way to be me. Streaming is for you, bro. Like go stream.
100%. 100%. If you could pull that off, you'll have something special. I can tell you that.
Yeah, facts.
For sure. All right. I got one last point. A lot of artists should stop doing shows on stages at these venues.
Okay.
Most artists don't belong in the venue. It's like, if you're an artist and you're happy and it's sunny, you know, like those are the vibes of your brand, why aren't you doing a show on a beach? Why aren't you having people pull up to a park? It's a lot cheaper these days to pull those types of things off, and you don't have to have the production value and experience like you do with a regular on stage set all the time. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Sometimes people are cool with just hearing you, just like the guy you walk by on the street and his music's playing. Fans are happy with that type of thing sometimes. It's a different experience and vibe. And you record that. Way better content. Some people should be doing something in like an alleyway that matches for your brand, right? Some people should be doing something, you know, in a nice exotic location or out in the woods. Maybe you should just be in a dark venue where you can control the production value, have red lights and a bunch of smoke and make it look like an underworld. I don't know. But you should think about your brand more before you choose shows and not just assume, hey, whenever I do a show, I got to go find a traditional venue that doesn't match who you are as a brand. And we might not put this in the actual clip, but shout out to J.O. for giving me his idea because I was at his show and I was like, why are you in this environment, bro? It's too dark in here. And you a sunny guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You should be on a beach somewhere. You should be in the park. I told him this. Like, find places that match who you are, and a lot of times it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be a better brand experience, which means it's going to convert people into being super fans more. It's going to make people want to come back to your events. And it's going to make it cooler in general, and you're going to make more money at the end of the day. Why would you not do that? Artists, please stop doing all of y'all shows at a venue, a traditional venue on the same stage that insert artist that's 3 times bigger than you does it. Find your own environment, do something special. Be in a bookstore, be in a barbershop, a beauty salon, make a cool piece of content, and get lit. And then thank Sean for it, please.
Amen, brother. Amen.
That's all we got. All right, bet. That means we are done with this episode with these hot takes or just takes, seeing what each other thinks, debating about it or not. We ain't debate too much today. Let us know if y'all like this model of episode, if y'all want to hear more of these back and forth discussions, and drop some comments if y'all have some type of takes. Maybe we'll read them in an episode, decide if we like them or not. This is yet another episode, No Labels Necessary. I'm Brandman Sean.
And I'm Corey.
And we out.
Peace.